Wildcat Walkthrough brought to you by Scott's Distributing. I'm Danny Scott here with head coach of the Sonora Wildcats, Kirk Clifton. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So last week, 7-0, your first kind of real scare of the season. You play a tough Hilmar team, 22-21 victory. It was a couple mistakes on kind of both sides of the ball, but how are you feeling about last week's game?
Yeah, there's a game you look at every year as a coach, and I told our guys back in May, I said, Hilmar is the game that's concerning to me. Down there is a tough place to play. They're a good football team. Their head coach, Frank Marquez, retiring after 30 years, his last home regular season game. So it was a good crowd, and they played extremely well. And we found a way to come away with a victory, and that's all that matters.
Sometimes a close game like that can kind of be a little bit of a reset, even a loss for a team that's kind of been as dominant as you guys. Do you guys kind of see this week as a chance for you to reset on the season as you come down the final stretch?
No, absolutely, because of the next three teams on our schedule all have one loss, and we're the only undefeated team in our league. So you find me another league or another team in the state of California that has the schedule ahead of them that we do, and I don't think you can find them.
Going back to last week, we talked about your offense, a couple penalties, a couple big turnovers that kind of hurt your guys' not chances to win because you did win the game, but how do you kind of clean that up as you get this late in the season?
We had one touchdown called back to.
As you guys are coming
I'm still trying to find
with your class for the night.
It would have changed
the white section.
Like the game
was the blue section
sooner than
juniors, the red section,
than it really did.
Seniors, the black section.
But you have to roll with the punches.
Ice is over here.
They did a good job, and their team changing it up and running multiple, fronts against us, and it still didn't matter because we only played one time or actually twice. We still came away with a victory. So
and kind of the reason of that victory, your quarterback, Eli Ingalls, wins Chicken Ranch Casino Player of the Game. He led that fourth quarter drive that gave you guys a lead that you never turned back from. What does that drive say about the team? You guys were kind of down at halftime, losing most of the second half. You put together a final drive and go win the game.
Well, this group, we returned a lot of guys, and we did it 2 or 3 times last year. So was I surprised that we did it this year? No, not at all. And to be honest with you, and Eli will tell you the same thing. We grade. I get grade he gets a grade, and the fullback gets a grade. Everybody gets a grade every week, and this is his lowest grade he's had all year. I think it's the only F he's ever had in his life was from Hilmar game, and I know he'll take it to heart. And the conversation we had on Saturday was before I could even tell him what I was going to say. He already knew. So that's why he's a special player. That's why he's a 2-year quarterback coach.
So I'll give you a little bit more of an opportunity to talk about him because he did win the player of the game last week. So what has he meant to you as your quarterback over these first 2 years and your first 2 years as head coach?
Yeah, as a play caller, you have a special bond with the quarterback and the trust you have to instill in him and teach him and coach him. And he's a fantastic young man, a really smart kid, really good football player, and it showed. On Friday night when the time counted, he made an outstanding play, and which was pretty awesome.
And then switching over defensively, a pretty typical week for you guys defensively. You only allowed 21 points, shutout in the second half. How are you feeling about your defensive performance?
Yeah, they only got 1 first down in the second half, and like I said, if we can hold them to 21, we'll find a way to score 22. And, we did. So, and we, fought and clawed and scratched and did what we had to do to get the victory.
And then going into this week, you guys are 7-0. It's homecoming week, so a big deal around Sonora High. How are you guys feeling about facing Hughson this week?
Well, was our first loss last year we had was against them down there. They're only 6-1 or 5-1. I don't know if they 6-1 or whatever they are. They only have 1 loss. They're a very well coached team. They have a great freshman quarterback. They have a bunch of wideouts. They're good up front. They played great defense last week against Escalon. And so it'll be a fun atmosphere. It's going to be a packed crowd. They're going to bring a bunch of people, and it's homecoming. So it'll be awesome. Great experience for the kids. I'm not a huge fan of homecoming because there's a lot of distractions. But it is what it is.
Well, Coach, good luck this week. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Wildcat Walkthrough, brought to you by Scott's Distributing. I'm Danny Scott, here with the Chicken Ranch Casino player of the game, Eli Ingalls. Eli, first of all, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Second of all, how are you doing?
Pretty good. We had a good practice today, and I'm looking forward to the game on Friday.
So before we get into kind of last week's game and asking you questions, I just want to get to know you a little bit. So what's your name?
My name's Eli.
What grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Height and weight?
6'4", 205 pounds.
Favorite food?
I really like pizza and like pasta and stuff like that.
Favorite football team?
NFL, Denver Broncos.
Who's your favorite football player?
Of all time, probably Peyton Manning.
Okay, and then finally, what does it mean to you to be a Wildcat football player?
Kind of everything. I wasn't allowed to play football when I was a younger kid, but I grew up loving it and watching it all the time. So when I got the opportunity to play football freshman year, I was super excited. And yeah, I looked up to those guys my entire life.
So a strong game from you, like Coach Clifton said, maybe not your best game ever, but you did enough, especially to win the game at the end. 4 for 5 passing, 99 passing yards, a touchdown, 46 yards on the ground, another touchdown. So you're responsible for 2 of the 3 touchdowns you guys scored. How do you feel about your game from last week?
In all honesty, yeah, you mentioned there was some good things that we did win, but I took more away from that game than like the mistakes that I made. Watching film, in the game, it sounds weird to say, but I felt I did some of the right things at the right times and it didn't work. But going back and watching film, I figured out why. So I'm really glad I got to play that game and we still won even with the mistakes that I had, because now I can go back and correct it and it can't happen again. So.
I know you don't play defense, so I'll ask you more about playing quarterback. You know, you play a tough position and a tough offense to play it in. So what can you tell me about playing quarterback in this offense, and what are maybe some of the things that people don't see that you do?
Honestly, there's a lot of communication that goes on, especially in a team like Hilmar, when we change a lot of stuff, when they change a lot of stuff on the fly, making sure everybody's on the same page. And knowing what's going on, that's sometimes difficult, but really we got a good group of guys that know what they're doing, so it's not too bad at all.
7-0 homecoming week, taking on Hughson, a tough game for you guys. How are you guys feeling about going into this week?
I'm feeling pretty good. Like I said, today we had a good practice. I know there's some seniors on this team, some of my best friends, that haven't forgotten about that 1-point loss. We don't want to lose that team. We're not going to lose that team, hopefully. So we'll give them their best shot. I'm sure they're going to give us their best shot. It's going to be a good game and a good atmosphere here for homecoming.
Awesome. Well, good luck this week, buddy. Thank you very much.